right, so here we are with our Artist of the Week, little feature we like to do to add some awareness to artists that are out there. And joining me today is Joshua Spradlin of Arcane Concepts out of Illinois. Hello, Joshua. Welcome to the show. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Joshua Spradlin. I am the owner and artist at Arcane Concepts. It's a little side hustle I opened 2017. Um, I took a mask making class at our local Springfield Art Association back in 2016. I got hooked, and I've been trying to do my own thing ever since.
Cool. So, what exactly was it that kind of got you interested in doing masks in the first place?
Masks and special effects in general has been on my mind since I was a kid. Being in Illinois, there's not really an outlet for that kind of thing, and I never really knew where to go about getting information on that stuff. So when I heard about this half mask class at the art association, I I had to jump on it and take it. And within the first session, I was hooked and sculpted my first mask, and it's been downhill since.
Very cool. All right. So, when you're working on a mask, where do you get your inspiration from? Where do you kind of get your ideas from? Do you see something in a movie and you kind of say, "Hey, that's kind of neat," or what's your process for coming up with the masks?
Well, like most people, I think you get a lot of inspiration from movies and TV shows and comic books and things like that. I tend to get a lot of inspiration from just random things I encounter in life, different textures that I'll see, when I'm out on a walk or something like that. Nature provides far more variety than you can get in any movie or TV show. There are some medical conditions that are just they're horrible, but at the same time they're fascinating because nature is flipping itself on its head and creating these forms and textures and shapes that you're not going to see unless there's a disease or there's a deformation or something specific had to happen for this result to happen to a human being or an animal or just paint peeling on the side of a barn. There's a very specific set of steps that has to happen for that texture to be achieved. And being able to recreate some of those textures in a humanoid form in a mask that someone can wear or display is one of the challenges that I like to try to hit head on.
Now, I've been looking at your masks, and if I were to sum it up in one word, I would probably use the word gruesome. I mean, they're pretty. They definitely look like something that a serial killer in his basement would construct out of his victims. They definitely have some disturbing look to them. I can imagine going through a haunt and having someone come out wearing that would be pretty frightful. Um, you have wife and kids, family that you live with.
I've been married to my wife for 20 years. We're high school sweethearts. I have two boys, one's 16 and one's 8. I also work at a haunted house every year, so that's where a lot of what I make wearable. I make it comfortable. I make it so you can see and you can breathe. Because as a haunt actor, I need I need to be able to
Yeah,
breathe. You got to be
yeah.
able to sweat your ass off. When you're scaring the crap out of people for 6 7 hours a night. My family loves what I do. They're very supportive. My little 8-year-old, he comes down here and he does some little sculpting things once in a while with me, and he shows my stuff off to all his friends.
So they don't think you're like a complete weirdo and stuff.
Oh, I'm definitely a weirdo. I mean, you got to be weirdo in some kind, do this kind of stuff. But it's a healthy outlet.
Cool. Cool.
It's sharing a perspective on something. It's sharing art, and I that's what I consider all this stuff is art. You know, People that collect fancy paintings and stuff may not consider it as art, but there's just as much time, skill, and effort that goes into what we do as there is to any painting that you see on a museum. It's just a different medium.
You know. Now, aside from the haunt acting and the making masks, are there any other hobbies that you do? Maybe they're completely unrelated.
Hobbies, I've known to wrench on cars and
Yeah.
trucks.
Yeah.
Uh, I was part of a team um, from 2007, 2010. We built an electric car from the ground up for a international competition, which we came in second place. Um, so that was 3 4 years of solid work on weekends and evenings after work, things like that. Um, I get my hands into pretty much anything that interests me, really.
Cool. I'm a car guy too and a jack of all trades. So, as far as the mask making is concerned, where would you really like to see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years, honestly, I think I would just like to build some relationships with various haunts around the country. I'd like to be a supplier of props and masks for actors and haunt scenes, and even going as far as in short independent features or films, things like that. I've done a couple of masks for um, independent horror films that are in production. A couple of projects I've worked on with some friends. I did some blood effects and special effects for those. But my main goal with the masks is just to be part of the haunted house community and kind of be a supplier to people who want unique masks and things for their haunts. Not something you see every day. You know, everybody's got the hockey mask and everybody's out there with the Michael Myers mask and a coverall suit. Uh, I like to see creative things. I like to see things that haven't been done before. And for your compliment, my stuff is gruesome and weird and disturbing, which is what you want if you're going to be scaring people that pay their good money to have an experience.
Cool. And that being said, let's take a quick moment to take a look at some of Josh's work. So, check this stuff out. So there you go. You get a good view of Josh's work here. Josh, hey, thank you for being a part of this. And is there anything you'd like to say or anything before we shut this all down?
Well, first, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity. I think what you're doing for some of us smaller artists and smaller makers, I think it's fantastic. A lot of us don't have the time to be a presence on social media as much as we should. You know, we're busy making stuff. You know, and I'm horrible with keeping up on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook posts and stuff because I'm trying to get stuff done. Um, a shout out uh, just to everybody that inspires me. There are a few mask makers that have gave me some really good advice along the way. Luke Prancic is one of them. Todd Davis is another one. Those guys have helped me with a couple of my sculpts and gave me honest opinions and feedback. Um, and it's a really neat community, the mask maker community, because I have not talked to one yet that refused to provide some advice or some direction. It's been awesome, and you don't get that hardly anywhere else. You know, there's everybody's out to compete with everybody, but it seems like in the mask making community, everybody just wants to make everybody better, and you get better product, and you get more creative ideas, and you get completely new concepts because of that cooperation. Um, if anybody mentions seeing Arcane Concepts on your show, and they buy something, I'll ship it for free. Um,
Oh, very
another,
cool.
I'm not sure when this will air, but I have my very first time as a vendor will be at the Flashback Weekend show in Rosemont, Illinois. It's the first weekend in August. It's a really big horror convention. Bruce Campbell's going to be there, Sam Raimi, Robert Englund. It's going to be a
Oh,
pretty big show. It's my first time vending. I'll have my first booth ever. If you're in the area, come out and say hi, and say you saw me on your show, and I'll give you a free sticker pack.
Excellent. We'll make sure that we plug that when that weekend is coming up. So, well, hey, again, thank you very much for coming on the show with us. And viewers, do me a favor, jump on Facebook and look this gentleman up, and be sure to check out his page. Give him some likes and shares and help kind of spread the word for him. And if you see something on there that you like, don't be afraid to buy from him. Remember, if you mention that you saw him on Monster Vision, he will give you free shipping on your product. So, again, Josh, thank you very much, and wish you the best of luck. So let's get back to our regular show now.